Guys, I have a special guest who's gonna film with me today, my best friend. Okay, it's SB. It's SB, I can't lie. She's my best friend. She's the only one that's ever here. Hey guys, it's V. Today, I've got another installment of V Vibes and Vents. I do already have foundation and my brows and under eye concealer on, as this usually goes. I feel like that just takes a long time and this is already long, so that will be listed down below, as well as everything else that I use. It's a magical description bar. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna be using the Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette today. I haven't used this puppy in a little while and I really wanted to do like a green sort of look, so we've got a green shadow here and we're gonna use it. So let's zoom you guys in. And here we are once again, back for another V Vibes and Vents. You guys know how this goes. We're just gonna talk while we do our makeup together. So I already have my eyelids primed, so I'm just gonna take the Bisque shade in here, which is a nice matte cream color. Put that all over the lid. You guys know how this goes. Just makes it easier to blend the shadows. Perfect. Then I'm just gonna take the shade Burlap, which is this really nice pukey, baby puke sort of color, and I'm just gonna put that in my crease. So, topics for today. I thought first off, I would talk about my driving pet peeves, because I've got a lot of them, because people suck. And yeah, so my biggest driving pet peeve would have to be when people are not paying attention when they are in a left turn lane, because there's a light that I frequently use. I mean, there's lights like this everywhere, but there's a light that I frequently use that is a really, really short green arrow. And then once the arrow's not green anymore and it's just the yellow blinking arrow, you can't really see to where you're able to go. So if you don't get there during that green arrow, you're pretty much screwed. So my problem is, if you're not like 5 cars in, you're pretty much gonna miss that green arrow. So if someone is not paying attention, or if they're just going slow because they are just a terrible human being and don't feel like hitting the freaking gas when they're at a green arrow, you're gonna miss your arrow. And that is probably my biggest pet peeve ever, is people that do not pay attention at green left turn arrows. Okay, now I'm gonna take a smaller shader brush and I'm gonna take the shade Forest, which is, I cannot talk. I'm gonna take the shade Forest, which is this really deep green color, and I'm gonna put that in the crease also. But yeah, there was this one time where, okay, I was the second person in a left turn lane, and right when I pulled up was when the light was turning yellow. So I was like, okay, well, it'll be a little bit before I can get through this light, whatever, it's not a big deal. So I sit there and I wait through the light, and then I don't know if you're not from the States, I don't know how things go in other countries, but usually when you have a green arrow, usually parallel sides get a green arrow first, or you have it to where one side will get a green arrow and a green light. Everyone will start going, then the other side will get a green light, and then you have to wait, and usually it's just this big mess. So I get to the front of the line, right, and there's one car in front of me, and so we're waiting because our light just turned red. And then we wait, all of the lanes around us start going through their cycle, whatever. So then we wait, we're waiting, and the light turns green, but you don't have a green arrow. So we couldn't go because it wasn't one that did a yield arrow. So we were just sitting there waiting. Usually it will either be arrow and green light, or green light, wait a little bit, then you get a green arrow. Usually, I don't know, maybe different places, but that's how it usually is. So the light starts to turn yellow, and then it turns red, and then no green arrow. So we're like, okay, maybe it'll be in the next turn. So then all of the other lanes get their chance to go, and then it comes back again, and it just goes to a green light. And the guy in front of me, I could tell he was getting frustrated because he was like, what the hell? We have not got another green arrow. What is going on here? Now I'm gonna take the shade Olivine here, which is this really, really pretty kind of olive green sort of situation. I don't really know how to describe it. You'll see when it's on the eyes. And I'm just gonna put that all over my lid. So it goes through 2 complete cycles of that. And then the car in front of me gets so frustrated that he U-turns on a red light. And so now I'm sitting in the front of the line and I'm like, so now once he does that, I have to make this decision. Am I gonna go into the straight lane, or am I gonna stay in this turn lane and just hope that that was a fluke and it's not gonna happen again? So my choice was I went in the straight lane because I was like, either way, there's gonna be a green light, so I'm gonna get to go, right? So the very next cycle, no green light, green arrow. I was like, are you kidding me? I just waited through, oh wait, I forgot to say, it actually was three cycles, not 2 cycles, 3 cycles of green lights and no green arrow. So I waited through 3 cycles of green light, and then a green arrow gets to go. And then guess what? Then they get their green arrow on the parallel side and I don't get a green light. So I basically just lost my turn after waiting for like a full like 5-ish minutes of waiting for this light to go correctly. Oh my gosh, I was so frustrated. I cannot even begin to tell you guys. And so that is, that's another place where I stemmed of hating turning left, and so if I can turn right, I will turn right. Now I'm just gonna take the shade Moonlight with that same brush that I used for the other one, and I'm gonna use the other side of it, and I'm gonna put that in my inner corner. Maybe, we'll see how that goes. Yes. And you know what else I hate with crazy drivers? I hate people that weave in and out of highways. First of all, you're an asshole if you weave in and out of highways. Second of all, you're an asshole if you weave in and out of highways and you don't use your signal. Because I don't know if you know, but that's what causes accidents, is not using a signal and just switching a lane, and then someone behind you obviously didn't know what the hell you were thinking and they decided to go in the next lane, or they're pulling up and you just decide to get over. And that is selfish, it's dangerous, and it's not like it's hard to use a signal. Honestly, it takes this much effort. You ever used a signal before? That's all you have to do. Oh, it makes me so angry. I hate people. I hate bad drivers. I'm not a perfectionist driver by any means. Whoa, I've got a lot of fallout going on. I need to brush that away. Let me know if you guys have any bad driver stories. I haven't been in very many accidents. I've actually only been in 1 accident. Yeah. Well, where it was my car. I've been in more than 1 accident where it wasn't my car. There was this one time, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna laugh. Okay, so this wasn't an accident or anything, but everyone that I tell this story to, it seems to get a laugh out of them. So why not tell you guys? So there was this one time that it was raining outside. Well, actually, I don't think it was raining when we left the house, because there's a certain reason why I'm making that a known fact. So anyways, me and my mom were driving. This was back when my parents were still married. So, you know, picture that when I still had a non-broken family. Just kidding, they're fine. I'm just putting that forest color underneath my eyes. BT dubs. My arm is getting tired of holding this big ass palette up. I wish that I could do my makeup without holding a mirror up, but it's just too hard for me. Wow, that mirror is like 1,000 times cleaner than the other mirror that I was using. Oh, the other mirror still has the peel off film on it. I don't like to peel those off for some reason. So me and my mom were driving, and this was back when she had a minivan. She used to have a Honda Odyssey. Total mom car, I know. It was sexy. It was like this really pretty red color. Such a beautiful car. It was pretty cool though. I mean, like, it had like the second seats where it was just 2 seats and you could like lean them back super far, and they had like armrests, and they also had little like holders for your drinks and shit, and then the back seat had 3 seats, so you could fit 7 people in that car. And it had a pull down DVD player. I remember the first movie that was in there was Shrek, which just created my love for the movie Shrek because my dad really loves it. So pretty much everything my dad likes, I usually like. So I'm gonna tightline now. I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs tight liner, I think is what it's called, but I'm gonna tight line. And yeah, so we were driving the minivan, and I don't think it was raining, but it had rained earlier in the day. So we were driving around this area, and my mom didn't realize that there was a little bit of deep water on the road. So she accidentally drove into an area where, oh, the tight lining is not happening today. She accidentally drove into an area where there was too much water on the road and flooded her engine, which we didn't realize. I don't remember what we were doing. I think we were just like running to the grocery store really quick. I don't remember what we were doing. It was just a quick little errand. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of eyeliner on. I'm not gonna do a cat eye or anything though. Maybe a little one. We'll see. So we were driving and she floods her engine right till the car stops. And we're about, probably like 15 minutes away from our house. Maybe 10. Probably about 10 minutes away from our house at the time. And so my mom calls my dad and she's like, Wayne, I flooded our engine. He's like, oh, are you kidding me? So he comes out and he has, I think at this point he still had his black Ford Explorer. So he brings his Ford Explorer, he brings some tow cables, and we're like, okay, so we flooded our engine, what are we gonna do? So he comes and he's like looking at the car, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. He looks at me and he's like, all right, come on, get in my car. And I'm like, Dad, I don't have any shoes. And it was wet. He looks at me and he goes, why the fuck do you not have shoes? He was so mad at me that I didn't have shoes on. And I always remember that story because he was just so upset with me for not having any shoes. I'm gonna do like the babyest little wing. Let's see how that goes. Usually goes well until you go to the other eye and then you're like, well, shit, screwed that up forever. So it's wet. Obviously he doesn't want me to get my feet all wet and then get in his car. So he has to carry me over to his car. And I think I was maybe like 10 or so at this age. So it's not like I was heavy or anything. I mean, I don't even think I was 100 pounds yet. So, and my dad's a big guy. He can carry a lot of weight. He's a strong guy. So yeah, I like cannot live without this Sills booster now. I do not ever not use it. It's the best. So he carries me to his car and then we hook my mom. That was the funny part of the story though, was that he was so angry at me for not having my shoes on. So anyways, he carries me over to his car and we try to tow my mom's car back, but since the roads were slippery because it was raining, it was too scary for my mom to drive the car while it was like sliding behind her because obviously she couldn't turn the car on. So she basically was trying to just steer it because we didn't have like a tow where you could put it up on the car. We only had the tow where you can like hook it on. I don't remember how, but anyways, hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But we only had the tow where you could hook it on and you kind of had to steer. So we ended up leaving the car like 2 minutes from the house because my mom could not drive it anymore. Oh, that was a great childhood memory. My dad just got so mad at me for not having shoes on. I'm sorry, Dad. Sorry I didn't think about shoes. I thought I was staying in the car. I didn't think Mom was gonna flood the engine, okay? Okay, while my Sills booster is drying, I'm just gonna put some blush and some contour maybe and some highlight. I'm gonna use the Mood Exposure Ambient Lighting Blush Mineral Powder from Hourglass as my blush today. This stuff is so powdery though. I don't use it very often and I got this for Christmas with like a gift card that I got and I just never use it because it is so powdery, but it's a really nice color. And I'm using a Real Techniques 100 powder brush. I actually have a review on this. It's a pretty old review, but I'll link it up here for you guys and I'll link it down below if you are interested in that. That was like one of my most popular first videos, was actually the review that I did on the contour brush from this line, the Bold Metals. I remember when that one hit like 1,000 views, I was so excited because none of my videos had really gotten like that much attention and it hit 100 views like pretty quickly. So it was exciting for me. Then I'm gonna use the NYX Taupe blush as my contour. This is the new one. I've heard the old one is way better, but I wasn't there in time to get the old one, so I'm gonna use the new one. And it's very, very cool tone. So it almost looks muddy on me, so I'm only gonna use a tiny, tiny bit of it just underneath that blush. Trying to think if I had any fun like driving school stories. Oh, I remember there was this one time we were doing a drive time. Okay, so I went to driving school. I didn't like have my parents teach me. I actually went to a school and learned how to drive that way, even though my mom did like take me out and like have me just go through the motions of it in like this park area where you could just drive around and not very many people were driving. So that's where I first learned how to drive. As my highlighter, I'm gonna use the Kat Von D Thunderstruck blush. No, this isn't blush, it's eyeshadow. The Thunderstruck eyeshadow. Because everyone says how great this is as a highlight, so I'm gonna use that as my highlight today, and this is the only brush that I brought over here for it. So we're gonna use this tiny little brush and hope that it works out. Oh my god, that is so pigmented. Honestly, this really looks a lot like the Dreamcatcher one. Like really, really similar to the Dreamcatcher one. I'm gonna have to swatch those next to each other. This little brush actually kind of works. That is really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of it above the brow because why not? I just feel like it looks really pretty there. It just makes you like shine bright like a diamond. Okay, just because I'm curious, I'm gonna swatch those two next to each other. So let's first swatch the Kat Von D because I actually have the Dreamcatcher one chilling over here too. Very different textures. Obviously, the Dreamcatcher one is much more, oh, they're different. I mean, they look really similar though. I bet ColourPop has a dupe for that Thunderstruck highlighter. I'll show you guys here in a second. Can you see? Okay, so there's the Thunderstruck and then underneath it is the Dreamcatcher. So Thunderstruck has much more of a yellowy tinge to it. I think on the face, they look enough alike where you can't tell the difference really. Okay, I think now we just need mascara, right? I'm gonna use the Tarteist mascara because I loved it when I used it in my last few Vibes events, so why not keep the theme going? Okay, so anyways, I was in driver school, right? And we were doing a drive time because when you do driver school, you sign up for drive times where you have like an instructor who has the brake on his side of the passenger side of the car, and you have to have like a couple of kids riding with you also that are also in driver's ed. So I was a passenger this time, or a witness or whatever they called it. So I was in the car and there was this kid who was driving in the driver's side, and he was doing okay in the beginning. I'll give him that. And then he started to get a little crazy. And there was this one point where, okay, so we were driving down a downtown area. And so, you know, the roads are a little bit thinner. It takes a little bit more skill to drive around downtown because there's a lot of one-way roads and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this wand is really, really pokey. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a little bit hard to not poke myself in the eye, but I'm trying really hard not to because I really don't want to mess up my entire face. So he was driving and we came to a stop. And there was one car in front of him at the stop, and we were kind of on a little bit of a downhill. And you know how like sometimes when you're driving and you're sitting at a stoplight, you'll just kind of like let go of the brake a little and just pull a little bit more forward for no reason, literally no reason. I don't know why people do that. Honestly, I don't really do that very much, and I am not an ass rider when I drive. A lot of the people that I drive with are ass riders, and it causes me so much stress. So anyway, so he did that. Like, okay, first of all, when he pulled up behind the car that was in front of us, he was literally less than a foot away from that car. So he was a little bit too close to them. He was talking to the instructor, and the instructor was like, you don't really have to pull up that close to them. Like, you really want to be able to at least see their wheels. But even more so, you want a car's length in front of you. But if anything, you need to be able to see their wheels when someone else is in front of you. He was like, okay, yeah, I understand. So then he does that thing where you let go of the brake a little, and like literally we almost smashed into that car. And the guy was like, oh my God, okay, no, you don't need to do that. Don't do that. If you are too close to a car, do not do that. And I just remember I was like, oh, we're about to get in an accident. Oh, nope, we're saved, we're all right. Okay, I just want to say that the travel size version of this, the trial side, it does not have a twist. You just pull it out. It's a mess. It is a mess. Look how goopy and disgusting this is. It just got all over my hand. It's a really good mascara, but that's not okay. That's not okay. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a little bit of bottom mascara on. I'm gonna use some waterproof. But like, look at that. Look at those lashes. They look really, really good. I am happy with that Tarte mascara. I'm just really not happy with the travel trial container that it comes in. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else funny happened in driving school. I remember when we learned how to parallel park. My brother actually took driver school the same time that I did, even though he's 2 years older than me. So I was 15. For my lippy, I'm gonna use NYX High Voltage Lipstick in the shade Stone because I haven't worn this in a while and I really, really like it. And since the eyes are very cool toned, I wanna go cool toned with the lips as well. This is just a really pretty, like, I don't really know how to describe it, but I just really like it. It's I mean, Stone is a good way to describe it. It's just like a grayish nude. And these NYX High Voltage lipsticks are among my favorite formula of lipstick ever. They're just so creamy, so creamy and pigmented, and I just love them. So that is my makeup look done, and then let's zoom you guys out so we can see my hair. But first of all, this is what we've got. Nice green, sort of browny thing. I think for my hair, I'm just gonna do a fishtail braid right here. You guys feeling it? That's what I'm feeling, so I'm gonna do that. So I'll show you guys how to do a fishtail braid if you're curious. And I'm kind of gonna do a, what's it called? A French fishtail braid in a way. So I've just got my two sections here, and then I'm just gonna fishtail them, which means I'm gonna take the outer part and then bring it to the other section, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. And then as I go down my head, I think I'm gonna just add a couple more pieces from the outside of my hair. As you guys can see here, that's what I'm doing. So like I said, my brother was taking driver's ed the same time that I was, just because he just didn't, I don't know why he waited, honestly, because he's 2 years older than me, so he could have gotten it a lot quicker than I did, but he decided not to. So we did a lot of our drive times together just because, you know, we could talk about the people that were in it with us and whatever. So we did that, and I remember when we learned how to parallel park, that was one of the worst drive times that I ever had. It was so embarrassing because, okay, one of the people that was a teacher at our driver school was a retired cop, and he took no freaking nonsense. Now I'm just gonna fishtail braid the rest of this long strand. But yeah, he took no nonsense at all. So he was the most terrifying teacher. And I remember we went to this church that was near my house, and we went to the parking lot. He set out some cones and we started to do it. And so he told me how to do it, and then I tried to do it. And then I remember him saying something like, "What did I tell you to do?" And I was like, and I instantly started crying because my dad was the kind of dad where, I mean, like if he raised his voice at me, I knew I was in big trouble, and I started crying. So this guy raised his voice at me, and my instant bodily reaction was to start freaking crying. And it was so embarrassing because it's just freaking parallel parking. It's not that hard. And I just remember I was so embarrassed, and I think my brother ended up being really good at it. So it just pissed me off even more that he was so good at it. So that was wonderful, a wonderful part of driver school. Okay, now that I have my fishtail braid, I'm just gonna loosen it a little bit. Kind of try to pull it out of its, make it one of those badass Instagram fishtail braids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where you see those 10-second tutorials and they make the most beautiful thing and you try to recreate it and it ain't ever gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna attempt to do. This is a lot harder than it looks. All right, I think we got it to a good point, so then I'm just gonna take some bobby pins and bobby pin this. I'm gonna lift a little bit of my hair up so that you won't see where the bobby pins are clipped. And then, where the bobby pins at? So I'm just gonna take some bobby pins here. Oh crap, I have lipstick on. I can't open it with my mouth. And I'm just gonna crisscross some bobby pins under there. Flat side up, guys. Flat side up. Because that makes the bobby pins stick better. Little fun fact. Okay, so you see, crisscrossed and cover up with some hair. And now I'm a Coachella princess, right? Not really. So that is the finished everything with the hair and the makeup and the everything using the Lorac Mega Pro palette. Also, to bring that parallel parking story to a close, I still don't really parallel park anywhere. It's just hard, okay? I want one of those cars that does the parallel parking for you. So anyways, that is the end of this Via Vibes and Vents. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to show some love to that like button. It really, really helps me out. And if you subscribe, you can be a member of my Muse family, which we just got over 5,000 of you guys. I cannot believe it. Seriously, in the past month, you guys have just been subscribing so much, and my family has grown so much, and you're so inspiring to me to make new videos. So welcome. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. I know that that's a feat. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.